Good morning. Look at this. Here we are doing a reading before work. I'm so excited. We've turned a corner. Had my second kickoff day with grad school yesterday. It was really good. It's a really meaty program. And it's funny how just, I would say being in the conversation makes a difference, but that's not it, right? We know that. It's vibration, it's the pool you're playing in. And a big part of why I signed up for the school was for the energetic pond and the launching place off for getting back into my company and coaching and consulting. But I think I didn't expect, I knew it would be personally transformational and there would be good data. But I don't think I expected exactly how great the program would be, in the sense that they really believe in us and really want to develop us as humans, developing our character, developing our come from, our foundation and stability, because they understand that it'll directly impact our ability to coach. The funny thing about coaching is you can't give away what you don't have. It's very much an energetic exercise, and it can come across as therapeutic, but when you understand the metaphysics and the vibrational aspects behind it, it's actually quite logical. And it's more about helping your client, viewing it as your client being on a treasure hunt, that they're looking for something and you don't know where it is or what it is, and they don't, but they have all the data they need inside of them to figure out what it is and where it is. But you're there to just help illuminate the process, help them find what's already within. And that viewpoint that was presented yesterday is perfect. Most people think in coaching you tell people what to do, and it's the exact opposite. So today I wanted to do a little reading, forgive the little intro, tiny update. I got my little baby bunnies here next to me. They're so cute. Oh my God. They're just too cute, but it's almost feeding time, so I can't pick them up right now or they'll freak out, and I gotta go to work. So I'm gonna do a reading from Abraham's The Vortex. It's actually a question answer session, but I think it's got good stuff. It's titled Each Marriage Was Different and Not Better. And let me, before I jump into it, say this. Through this channel and the conversation around being happy and happiness, I was poking around at something that I didn't really have the vocabulary for, which has to do with a relationship deficit occurring in our culture. Humorously key up this program I'm going into, and of course the main thing they're talking about is relational deficit, and the issues that it causes and how to address it. So what I loved about this reading specifically is it gives us more insight into relationships and how the way we contain them and think about them not only affects what can become of them, but how happy we are in our lives. Let's keep it simple. So each marriage was different, not better. Questioner: I've been married 4 times to 2 different husbands. 4 times to 2 men. Interesting. She married 2 of them twice, or 1 3 times. In each case, we remarried thinking it would be better. It was different. It was not better. In each case, I can see now from what you were saying about freedom that these marriages just reinforced my desire to be free. One of my husbands said to me, you're really just interested in romance. And in a sense, that was true. I thought maybe I'd rather be his mistress than his wife, because in marriage, we're talking about 2 different things. Sexuality is one thing. Marriage is another. In marriage, you've got children, in-laws, property, responsibilities. Bleh. I added the bleh. Abraham: it turns out it is not possible to separate anything from anything, though, because at the core of all those things is you and the way you feel. As you focus upon one unpleasant or unwanted aspect of life, it bleeds over into all other aspects. That's right. And so finally, my desire for freedom dominated so much that in each case, I left. I like the premise of life that you identify, of freedom and growth and joy, but my marriages were bringing me no joy. And relationships can feel very entrapping. I've been in a few, or ensnaring. But something interesting came up yesterday. When we start to blame others or circumstances for how we feel, that's giving our power away, which is pushes you into more of like a childlike energy versus coming at things equal and adult. And that's how you can start to feel like you're giving up your freedom too. Can you see, in looking back, Abraham asks, that there were opportunities to look for positive aspects, but because you were fixated upon negative aspects, those became your dominant experience? The questioner, yes, but I so disliked the feeling of being hemmed in and pinned down and having to perform certain duties all the time, that even though I did them and did them well, what I wanted was to be free, to be my own person. Abraham, the actual freedom you were seeking was freedom from negative emotion. Freedom from feeling bad, freedom from not feeling good, freedom from not being who you really are. And so we project it out onto other people and circumstance. I know I have a lot in my life. We want you to understand, and I'm sure I still do, but what a great place to work from. We want you to understand that in every moment, even those over which you feel you have no control, you have the freedom to ponder them in a way that feels better or in a way that feels worse. You have the freedom to focus upon them through the eyes of your source or from the perspective that pinches you off from source. Your pinned in, not free feelings were about your vibrational discord, not about the subject you were focusing upon, which brought about the vibrational discord. And that is such an important distinction. It's how we think about things, not the actual things themselves, that affects how we feel and the results in our life. Isn't it funny? It reminds me of that phrase, when the way you look at the things you look at change. When the way you look at things change, the things you look at change. And it usually goes with a cool meme or, video that shows you a picture of something from one angle versus another angle versus like a masterful angle. Because our perspective, our point of perspective changes what we're looking at. Photography is a great exercise in realizing that that's the case. You are not seeking freedom from experiences that cause your desires to expand, but you are seeking freedom from the hindering thoughts that keep you from allowing your expansion. So it's the thoughts, not the circumstances, that hinder our expansion. So perfect for me right now. The feeling that you're describing as being pinned in or not free is actually the feeling of not keeping up with your own expansion. The expansion, in fact, made possible by your relationship. So in other words, there are possibilities for her in her relationship she didn't go with. Have you noticed that in terms of physical activity, you're as busy now as you've ever been? The questioner said, I'm actually busier. And yet you feel freer because you're no longer focused upon lack. We're not suggesting that you should have done something differently. We're not suggesting that it was right that you stay and wrong that you go, or the other way around, but we do want you to realize that in every moment, the way you feel is because of one thing and one thing only: the thoughts you are thinking and the vibrational relationship with your opinion and that of the source within you. So the dissonance between those two opinions and the thoughts that you're thinking. And there's no other person, no matter how hard he tries to be a good companion, who can stand on his head in enough ways to make up for the thoughts that you think. Full accountability. This is what we were talking about in class yesterday too, which is adulthood, which is really just taking on full accountability for your life. In the Abraham conversation, though, it's much more clear why that's the case. I think in the Christian conversation and context, it's still important, and they're able to establish it as important. But of course, when you step into the metaphysical Abraham conversation, like, well, it's vibrational, so you're the one who can impact it. There isn't a God really that's making those decisions. It's an entire system that was set up by this God that you're swimming in because you're energetic, and sort of we get to understand some of the rules around that and why it is that full agency is so important when it comes to creating our lives. We know that some people seem to be much easier to live with than others, but even so, we do not encourage anyone to try to guide their own behavior by trying to make others happy. Thank you. A well-meaning person who does everything in his power to make you feel better is actually making it less likely that you will direct your thoughts into harmony with your broader perspective. And since your feeling of freedom and joy and growth are contingent upon your non-physical connection, then anything that distracts you from that important work does not help you. keep people small in your lives. Let them struggle. The last few weeks, last couple months have been a struggle, but I see I've gained so much from that, and it's put me in such a good position to move forward. And so I love it and appreciate the contrast, because it's taking me to a new place, and that is what I want. That's making me feel happy. Not the solving of all my problems, but the motion in a new direction as a result of them. I guess I would say that brings a certain level of joy and peace and satisfaction without anything else changing. And so that's really what this is talking about. And of course, with the coaching program, it's going to be a lot around how we focus our feelings and how I get out of my well or my pit when I'm feeling so sad. It's a big piece of that, and a lot of it's about asking for help. We'll go over this another day, but he actually develops quadrants of needs. So we actually get to take a look at this nutrient list and request it from others. It feels really weird, but I joke about it because it's difficult, but I'm excited because relational deficit, nutrient deficit, and here all I'm studying is nutrients for the bunnies and nutrients for my plants, and I can understand how we need nutrients. And even through this channel, I've come to rely on some nutrients from this, which is so interesting because you don't really give me encouragement. I'll have to look at the nutrients list and see what this does for me, but it does feed me nutrients. I'm sure I would get some perspective on an active listening ear on the other side, but all in due time. With that, thank you for being here with me. I hope the reading served you the way it serves me. It's perfect for me today. I want to think positively about people, or think about things and situations and people in such a way that it positively impacts them for them, but I get to take that on for me. I want to feel better about where I'm going and what I'm doing. At the end of the day, that's all I have power over anyway. Thank you for being here with me. I love you.